an all-new Avanza, the Toyota Veloz, an all-new Expander and Expander Cross, plus a new entry in the Hyundai Stargazer, I think it's safe to say that the local 7-seater segment has been pretty busy of late. And that said, it's becoming harder and harder for the segment's offerings to stand out from one another. This thing, it's the all-new Honda BR-V. It's got a 1.5-liter engine, 7 seats of course, and what you're looking at is the local market's top-spec BX variant. We're here today in Laguna to find out if Honda's given this thing enough upgrades to keep hanging with the segment's big boys. May langgam! Arguably the most important question many people are going to ask about the BR-V and other cars in its segment is, does the engine have enough power? Will it make it up to Baguio with 5 to 7 passengers on board? Will it do what I want it to do up an incline? With the BR-V, it comes equipped with a 1.5-liter gasoline engine capable of 119 horsepower and 145 Newton meters of torque, paired with a CVT. If those numbers sound familiar, it's because they are familiar. It's exactly what you will find on the spec sheet of the current generation Honda City. Is it enough power for the Honda BR-V though? This is heavier and it will be carrying 7 passengers from time to time, if not all the time, depending on why you're buying this thing. Is it for the family, as your daily driver, whatever. Does it have enough power? The 119 horsepower and 145 Nm? In my experience, yes. I have carried multiple passengers with this. It might be around Metro Manila, it might be up to Baguio City, but the powertrain of the all-new Honda BR-V is definitely capable. The thing is, this 7-seater is going to let you know that it is working its ass off to do what you want it to do with multiple passengers on board. The suspension setup of the all-new Honda BR-V deals with Metro Manila's usual imperfections with relative ease. It dampens smaller potholes and bumps easily. So as for efficiency, right now I'm averaging 12 kilometers per liter, and that's in mixed city and highway driving conditions. I have taken this out of town. I'm here in Laguna for the shoot right now. I have also driven it extensively within Metro Manila with multiple passengers on board, and 12 kilometers per liter, I think that's good considering the types of challenges this vehicle has faced. Multiple passengers on board, cargo, again mixed driving conditions. I think 12 kilometers per liter is pretty good considering what I've put this through. Once you step inside the Honda BR-V, the first thing that you're going to notice is that this is a straightforward Honda interior with a stealthy overall vibe, save again for a few pieces of contrasting silver/gray plastic. It's also got a nice mix of durable feeling surfaces and soft touch materials that includes leather and contrast stitching, piano black plastics, which you know I'm not a fan of, but it looks decent enough around the central touchscreen infotainment system and gear shifter over here. Plus, it is what it is. This is found in most, if not all, Hondas, so it's okay, I guess. As for the seats, it's definitely an improvement over the previous generation seats with better bolsters. It feels more supportive and it feels like you're more stable here behind the wheel. You've got a meaty feeling steering wheel. It feels good to hold. It's easy to hold. It's got leather and contrast stitching. It also has steering wheel controls. So on the left side, the buttons manage volume, entertainment, voice commands, while on the right, it handles cruise control settings and the vehicle information display, which we're gonna get into now. Face forward and you will be greeted by a traditional instrument cluster that uses analog gauges. Now, some of you might feel that analog, this is boring. I mean, a lot of other cars go full digital already, but purists will be glad that it's sticking to the old guns. And it also has the aforementioned vehicle information display. It's small, but it gets the job done, feeding you pertinent information like fuel economy and the trip meter. We move over here to the AC controls. Everything is tactile, nothing capacitive, which I am happy to report. Digital, the numbers, the settings are displayed in a digital fashion, and all the buttons are easy to hold. So this is a good thing unless you like fiddling around with touch screens or capacitive controls while you're out on the highway, which I'm sure not many people are into. But yeah, physical controls for the AC system. You've got dual USB ports down here and the 12-volt power outlet. As for the central touchscreen display over here, it's easy to get the hang of. It's straightforward Honda through and through. With a few taps of a button, you can get where you want to go. But personally, I just plug in my phone in the USB port down there and let Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, in my case Apple CarPlay, do the rest. And now we have moved into the second row, and to be honest, this feels like a great place to be. First of all, there's a ton of room. I mean, for the arms, headroom is great, but most importantly, there's a good amount of legroom, and this is with the seat slid all the way to the front, so you can even slide it back more if you need it. But yeah, I mean, even with the standard setting pushed all the way to the front, there's more than enough space for me, who's 5'9"-ish, 5'10"-ish in height, to sit comfortably here in the second row. So space-wise, 5 stars. I love that there's tons of space in the second row. You've got a roof-mounted AC here, 3 AC vents in fact, and you also have blower controls, so if things get hot for the last 2 rows, you can always turn it up and problem solved. Drop down center armrest, let's see. It drops down, but it doesn't have cup holders, so cup holder seems to be a problem for this car. The second row doesn't have any. Over in the front, you've got 2 relatively small ones, but yeah, let's check the third row. Well, at least the third row has it, but yeah, the second row, no cup holders. You've got bottle holders, but they're at an angle, and it's not really an ideal place to put your Starbucks cups, McDonald's cups, any kinds of cups, because even if they're covered, there's a chance that they might still spill. So you've got a 12-volt power outlet here and no USB ports, but that's fine. I mean, we're not in a luxury car or anything. So we've got rear AC, 12-volt power outlet, and tons of space, not enough cup holders. That about sums up the second row. Alright guys, we're gonna be checking out the third row inside in a bit, but to do that, we're gonna have to get it set up first because the seats are dropped down. And while we're at it, let's get into what this setup looks like with the seats folded down. Well, not flat, because as you can see, they're still protruding. You've got a sort of elevated flat surface. You can place maybe a few large pieces of cargo, but at least I'm glad that Honda has put covers on the rear of the seat, so while they don't fold down flat into the floor, the seats are kind of protected, and you've got a little bit more support for, let's say, heavier items. You've got the cover here as well. Is there storage down here? I think there is. Wait, you can put... No. Okay, that's kind of weird. There's nothing here, but you've got the cover you can pull up. But again, cup holders, more storage areas here. Let's see how easy it is to pull up. Oh, another nice touch. The straps that you use to pull the seats up towards you if you want to use the third row for passengers, it's actually held down by Velcro, so it keeps everything looking neat. Again, it's a small thing, but it's the small things that count when you're spending a ton of money on a family car. So easy to pull up, and this is what it looks like with the seats folded up. And I'll fold it down again just to give you an idea how easy it is to do. And up. Now, let's head into the third row. And now guys, we are going to be stepping into the third row of the Honda BR-V. But to do that, first we have to get the second row up so that we can squeeze ourselves back there. Is it easy to do though? I think it's easy enough. So, the third row of the Honda BR-V. Is there enough space for a 5'9", 5'10"-ish Top Gear Philippines staff member to sit in the rearmost part of this 7-seater? I'm happy to say that the answer is a resounding yes. As you can see, there's still plenty of legroom for me. Plus, I can also tuck my feet underneath the second row a bit if I have to. Which I don't because, again, there's lots of space back here. And to think I did not have to slide the second row any further forward from the setting that it was in while we were shooting in that part of the car. So, the way this entire car is set up right now, I sit comfortably in the front, I sit comfortably in the second row, and I also sit comfortably in the rearmost part of the 7-seater. You've got a rear 12-volt power outlet here, cup holders again, and some storage compartments. Headroom is decent for a third row, plus these windows on the sides help give the part of the car a relatively roomier atmosphere thanks to the lighting. So, rearmost part of the BR-V, I'd give it a 5 stars, to be honest. The first generation Honda BR-V stood out design-wise in the sense that, at least at the time, it was really the only 7-seater going for a mini SUV-ish kind of appearance. And for this generation, Honda has doubled down on that package by providing us with a wider stance and a more aggressive overall tone. Size-wise, it's about the same as that first generation Honda CR-V over there. Yung kay Papi sa videographer namin. I want to give props to what Honda has done with the BR-V's face over here. You've got aggressive headlight designs and a massive grille up front. The whole package up here is brought together by a simple classy piece of chrome trim and a large Honda logo dead center over there. If you move over to the sides, you've got plenty of matte black plastic on the fog light housings and over here on the fenders. And speaking of the fenders, underneath those are classy looking 17-inch alloys with a premium looking design. Move over further to the sides and you've got clean flat surfaces over here and a bold character line that runs all the way to the back. More matte black plastic plus a contrasting piece of silver plastic. You've got visors, a roof rail, and moving to the rear now, the entire appearance is capped off by modern taillights back here, a flat overall surface, and again, a simple, classy piece of chrome strip here in the center. Okay guys, we have driven the BR-V, we have checked out its interior, and we have also laid out some of the more notable features that are included in the VX's package. Again, this is the top-spec unit in Honda's local lineup, so it costs just a smidge under 1.4 million pesos. We'll have the exact price listed for you here in the video. Now, let's get into some pros and cons. We're glass half full kind of people here at Top Gear Philippines, so let's start with some of the pros. Number one, I really like the way the BR-V looks. It's, in my opinion, what a mini SUV should look like, and I absolutely love what Honda's done with the design. The bold face, aggressive headlights, clean surfaces, I love it. Number two, the interior is spacious, and this is coming from someone who's around 5'9", 5'10" in height. Usually when I try to squeeze into the third row or the rearmost part of a car, even in mid-size SUVs, I run into some problems with headroom and legroom. And number three, the all-new BR-V you see behind me, it's a capable little 7-seater. It might only come with a modest 1.5-liter gasoline engine paired with the CVT, but I can guarantee that you will get up to Baguio with barely any issues, if any at all, and that's with multiple passengers on board. Plus, it can handle its own on Metro Manila's less than stellar roadways, potholes, bumps, and finally, it's efficient too. During my time with the BR-V, I averaged around 12 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good for a car of this size. And that's in mixed city and highway driving conditions. If I had to give it a score right now, I'm hovering in between 7 or 8. I mean, not enough cup holders is a big issue, but having a lot of room is also a big plus. So I think I'm gonna go with the middle ground and give it a 7.5 out of 10.